district health officer. I am going to move out and call him to get more facts. And I also call the Minister of Health or the Director General of Health Services to establish whether they already know and if there are any steps that have been taken. If there is any useful information in terms of progress, I will come back and request for time. Then I respond. But if they haven't gotten in touch, the Ministry of Health, then we shall request them to move on the ground. And on Tuesday, the Minister of Health should come and give us the update in terms of what the ministry has done and what the actual problem is. But I'm going to call on the phone, and if I get any useful information, I will come back and update the House.
Honorable Chris, thank you for their prompt response. Honorable Kamba and Honorable Chris, can you go out and sort out that issue and report back? Honorable members, in the VIP gallery this afternoon, we have a delegation of senators from the upper house of the Parliament of Democratic Republic of Congo. These senators include, I may not be able to read all the other names, but I can say at least one name. Honorable Ukamba, who is the head of delegation. Honorable Ukamba, welcome. Welcome to Parliament of Uganda. Honorable Nesta. Honorable Nesta, you're most welcome. Honorable Tibasima. Honorable Tibasima Ateng, you're most welcome. Honorable Jim Perrier, Anita, you're most welcome. Honorable, that was Honorable Jean. Then there is Honorable Anita Zeta. Honorable Anita, you're most welcome. And you are the Speaker of this House. Honorable Alphonse, welcome. Ambassador Jean, welcome. That is a delegation from the Republic of Uganda. Republic of Congo. The team had a meeting with me before we came in, and the team has some issues on how we can strengthen on security between Uganda and Congo, especially at the border, on the issue of collaboration between the members of Parliament of Uganda and DRC, on the issue of the business, how we can improve on business between Congo and Uganda, and then on the issue of our security personnel beating people at Lake Albert when they are doing fishing. Those are the 4 issues that have brought them here. And I committed myself that this is a very able parliament, will handle all those things as per their request. Thank you, welcome, thank you for coming. Next item.
Laying of papers.
Laying of papers, Honorable Commissioner.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the 21st Annual Report 2018 of the Uganda Human Rights Commission. I beg to lay.
Thank you. I refer the annual report to the Committee of Human Rights for consideration and report back to this House. Thank you.
Item 4, motion for a resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the late Honorable Father Simon Lokodo for his dedicated and patriotic service to the Republic of Uganda.
Members, as I told you earlier on, we are going to pay tribute to our own Father Lokodo, who passed on in Geneva. And without really preempting what the mover is going to present. That's a lead of government business. Father Lokodo was a friend to everybody in this house, was so humorous, and he worked well with everybody in 10th Parliament. He was a minister of ethics and integrity, and will dearly miss Father Lokodo, because every time we felt we had somebody we could go and joke with, and that was Lokodo for you. We miss him, and may he so rest in eternal peace. Prime Minister, maybe before Prime Minister says something, the family of Father Lokodo who are here, we have Lokwang Aldo, a brother to the late, Loge Michael, a nephew to the late, Lokodo John Bosco, a nephew to the late, Lokwang Alfred, a nephew to the late, Lotan Jackson, a cousin to the late, Achelai Kizito Sisto, a cousin to the late, Lomodo Francis, a nephew to the late, Akom Julius, a cousin to the late, Lokomin Peter Fred, a nephew to the late, Dida Romeo, a nephew to the late, Narei Lillian Francis, a niece to the late, Locha John, nephew to the late, Timat Anna, a niece to the late. They are here to listen to the motion for resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the Lord Honorable. You're all most welcome, and thank you for coming. Yes, leader of government business.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I'm reading a motion on behalf of the Prime Minister. Motion for a resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the late Honorable Father Simon Lokodo for his dedicated and patriotic service to the Republic of Uganda. Moved under the Rule 56 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament. Whereas the Parliament of Uganda received with deep sorrow the sad news of the death of Honorable Father Simon Lokodo, which occurred on Saturday, 29th January 2022 in Geneva, Switzerland. Aware that Honorable Father Lokodo served in various capacities, both pastoral and political, in Uganda and internationally, including being a minister, member of Parliament, and a member of the Human Rights Commission with a distinguished career. Recognizing that Honorable Father Simon Lokodo's notable service in key positions of responsibility, including a parish priest at Kabong Catholic Parish, Moroto Diocese from 1987 to 1994. 95. B. The in charge of lay apostolate in Moroto Diocese from 1991 to 1995. C. Coordinator of Social Services and Development at Lokodo Diocese from 1991 to 1994.
Honorable members, for those who didn't know Father Lokodo, you can just check, the pictures are there.
D. Parish Priest of Karenga Catholic Parish, Lokodo Diocese from 2000 to 2006. E. Member of Parliament for the North County Kabong District from 2006 to 2011. F. Vice Chancellor, Vice Chairman of the Parliamentary Committee on Government Assurances from 2008 to 2009. G. Minister of State for Industry and Technology from 2009 to 2011. H. Member of Parliament for the North West Constituency, Harang District from 2011 to 2021. I. Minister of Ethics and Integrity from 2011 to 2021. J. Chairman of the Interagency Forum, which coordinates government efforts in the fight against corruption from 2011 to 2021. K. Executive member representing Africa on the International Authorities Against Corruption Association from 2013 to 2021. And L, the member of Uganda Human Rights Commission from 2021 until the day he passed on. Appreciating that Honorable Father Simon Lokodo served Uganda with dedication and patriotism. He was a strong advocate of family values and morals through the Ministry of Ethics and Integrity, as well as contributed to development of the Catholic Church in Karamoja sub-region. Now, therefore, be it resolved one, that Parliament collectively convey its deep condolences to the bereaved family, relatives, friends, and the people of Uganda for the loss of a distinguished and a gallant citizens of this country. And the two, Parliament recognizes and appreciates the contribution that the late Honorable Father Simon Lokodo rendered to this country. I beg to move.
Thank you so much, General Ali. Is the motion seconded? Seconded by the whole House, Honorable Alanyo, Honorable Silwanyi, Dag, Honorable Kafusi, Obiga, Honorable Biga, Honorable Okasai, Honorable Abe, Honorable Elijah, Honorable Faith Nakut, Honorable Nsereko, Honorable Chairman of Karamoja Parliamentary Union, by the Hollow House, Honorable Ik Ilare, and the woman MP of the area. Thank you so much. Would you like to speak to your motion briefly, or you have already spoken?
I must justify what I said. Justification for the resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the late Honorable Father Simon Lokodo. Right Honorable Speaker, on 29th January 2022, we received the sad news of the death of Honorable Father Simon Lokodo. He died while on official duty in Geneva, Switzerland. Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Father Lokodo attended St. Mary's Seminary, Nadiket, in Moroto district. In 1985, he obtained the bachelor's degree in theology from Urban University of Rome, Italy. In 1986, he was ordained a Roman Catholic priest. In 1996, Father Lokodo obtained a Master of Arts in Biblical Theology, Urban University of Rome, Italy. Besides his native language, Honorable Father Lokodo speaks or spoke Italian, French, German, Spanish, and English. Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Father Lokodo was a priest, parish priest of Gabon Parish in Catholic Church of Cotido. Diocese rather, Catholic Diocese of Cotido. From 2006 to 2021, Honorable Father Lokodo served as a member of Parliament for the Dos County, Gabon district. In February 2009, Honorable Father Lokodo was appointed as the Minister of State for Industry and Technology. In May 2011, Honorable Father Lokodo was appointed Minister of State for Ethics and Integrity. In 2021, until his death, Honorable Father Lokodo was a commissioner of Uganda Human Rights Commission. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Father Lokodo was a dedicated advocate of good morals, high family values, and decency. As a Minister of Ethics and Integrity, he formulated a pornography control committee and pushed for an anti-pornography law as well as a marriage and domestic relations bill. Honorable Father Lokodo was also an anti-corruption crusader who promoted zero tolerance to corruption. In July 2021, the Inspectorate of Government Honorable Father Lokodo, or honored Father Lokodo, for founding the Interagency Forum, an alliance in fighting corruption and other financial crimes. Honorable Father Lokodo worked hard to constitute the leadership code tribunal and played a key role in the amendment of the Leadership Code Act. Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Father Lokodo will always be remembered as a passionate servant of God and a leader who fought for good morals. We extend our sincere sympathies and condolences to the family, church, Karamoja region, and the people of Uganda. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you.
For God and my God.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Leader of Government Business. Honorable Elijah Okupa de Seconda. General, thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I stand here to second the motion for resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the late Honorable Father Simon Lokodo for his dedicated and patriotic service to the Republic of Uganda, as moved by the Leader of Government Business. Madam Speaker, allow me, on my own behalf and on behalf of the people of Kasilo and the people of Teso, who, for the reasons is known to this House, that the majority of the leaders from Teso are in Teso, in preparations for the burial of Papa Emor, but asked me to convey heartfelt condolences to the family and to the people of Karamoja, who are our uncles, and to the country at large. We are together with you in this difficult time. Madam Speaker, personally, Honorable Lokodo found me in this House in the 9th Parliament, in the 10th Parliament. I've interacted with him. As somebody who loved this country, at one time when we were joking with him, he said, why did you leave the work of God and come now to live? He told me, this is also the work of God. So I've not left the work of God. I'm going to proceed from here, and you will see. So I'm not surprised that Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Lokodo died while he had gone to attend a conference to defend the morals and the human rights issues of this country. Right Honorable Speaker, to me, I repeat again, it was not a surprise. But what is disheartening to me is after the demise of Father Lokodo, when I got the news that morning, I would have been one of those first people in this country, because I called Honorable Dr. Chris Baremos to try to confirm. He said, yeah, I have not yet heard. But within 2 minutes, I received a message from the Human Rights Commission. I was able to relay information to him. So everybody, every right-thinking Ugandan felt they have lost a true Ugandan, a person who fought for the morals. But what is disappointing is some people went on social media celebrating, attacking the dead. What has happened to Ugandans? What has happened to our morals? Why would one go on the social media to attack a person of Honorable Lokodo, who fought for the morals of this country? When we had the issues here about the anti-homosexuality bill, he stood firm. He stood firm and stood by his word, because that's what he stood for when he was in the church, when he was here. But some, for whatever reasons, opted to that. What we can only say, may God forgive them, because they don't know, and they only deserve to repent. Right Honorable Speaker, serving with the Honorable Lokodo in this House, like you have heard, He was very instrumental when we were doing amendments to the leadership code, because he saw when he was in that ministry how corruption eroded this country. So he felt one of the contributions he could make was through making an amendment to the leadership code, which he spearheaded, and this House passed it. And we remember him for that. The anti-pornography law, he was again very, very instrumental. When the matter came under Honorable Kiwanda, the issue of the Miss Kavi, he was not supportive to it because he thought it was not moral. but it was not moral. It was not moral to have such a beauty contest in this country. There was this issue of the nyege nyege. Everyone will remember Honorable Lokodo on his stand on that position, because he wanted Ugandans, he wanted the children of this country to grow up when they are morally upright. And I think we should carry that legacy and be able to instill discipline and good moral values to our children. Right, Honorable Speaker, I hope at an opportune time, Dr. Chris Baromose will give us the full medical report on the cause of his death. Because there are so many theories, studies on what caused his death. Of course, what we have read in the papers, but we shall hear and get communication formally from the medical fraternity, such that we are put to rest with what really took the life of Father Simon Lokodo. So, Right Honorable Speaker, once again, we want to say, may the soul of Father Simon Lokodo rest in eternal peace forever. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Elijah. For members who are new in this parliament, one thing I should tell you, that Father Lokodo was that very consistent person with what he wanted. He said the Catholic Church did not want him to be a politician, but he said, I'm going for it. And indeed he went for it, and he became a member of parliament. However, even when he was a member of parliament, he still continued to uphold the Catholic Church morals and values as a minister of ethics and integrity. I remember when Father Lokodo would start harassing people putting on miniskirts. He would not want to see anybody in a miniskirt, whether an MP. He would, even in the parliament, nobody would put on a miniskirt. So that was Father Lokodo for you. And Father Lokodo was the one who brought first of all, he hated homosexuality. He really hated homosexuality, and he used to campaign against it, and we'll really remember him for that. He hated FGM. He also hated that thing of forced early marriages. He would talk openly. So that was Father Lokodo for you. Honorable Nyakun.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I stand here to support the motion and to thank my Papa, Moses Ali, for moving the motion, and also my brother Okupa, who happens to be a nephew to Honorable Lokodo. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm speaking here to let the nation that Karamoja has lost somebody who made us to be known in good morals, in all the disciplines that Lokodo tried to instill in institutions, including this parliament. Karamoja as a region, when we heard the news, we were very saddened, we got so shocked, because we didn't expect him to die that soon. It was so fast, the news to get to know. But we as a region, Karamoja lost a man. By the time they call you a man in Karamoja, there is a checklist that you have to qualify to be called a man. So when I say Lokodo died as a man, he supported the entire region, not only Karenga, where he comes from. The services of education. He took so many children when he was still a Catholic priest, not even a member of parliament, not even a minister. He took them and educated them. He got for them scholarships from all the Italian connections that he had when he studied there. So we got some good support in terms of education from him. When he became a minister, we saw it very well. The morals, the cultural values that Lokodo was teaching Ugandans, just know that's what a Karamojong is. We still value the morals. We still value all the cultural values. When you want to know which part of this country is still valuing all those, it is from what Lokodo was bringing, it's from people who come from Karamoja. I stand here very proud, being a Karamojong, and also being a person who comes from the same region with him. Lokodo left a very big responsibility. But I saw in the social media also, there were a lot of ring fences going on. We as a region, we are also asking this government to give us back that position of a member of the Uganda Human Rights Commission. Let it remain in Karamoja. We have educated people there who can be in position to take up that position. We are not talking about other big things, but we are very few educated Karamojongs, by the way. We are very few, but we
Honorable
also have...
Honorable members, order. That is somebody's opinion.
That is my opinion.
And have respect for everybody's opinion.
Thank you for your protection.
Didn't you see people from Kigezi ring fencing governor? So if Karamoja is ring fencing, what's wrong with it?
Thank you for your protection, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, it demoralizes when you hear fellow colleagues, members of parliament making that level of noise. That is what Lokodo was still telling us to have, morals. I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. I know everyone in this house was touched the other way or the other by Lokodo. Father Lokodo touched me personally. He came to my family in 1990, I think 2004. He told me, I want to take your daughter to be given a scholarship. Right Honorable Speaker, where I was living was not a conducive place to take a picture. The most funny thing, we had to go from Bale senior quarters to Namatala to look for a manyata where we were able to smear my small daughter with some ashes to look like she's really from a deep village. That's how he touched me. He touched my family because he wanted also to support me to take my daughter to school for her to get a scholarship. We are going to miss him as a region, and I repeat, let that position be given to Karamoja. I beg to move.
Thank you, Honorable Esther Anyakun. The secondary asked for a report from the doctor, the only doctor in the house. A doctor of medicine. I'm not saying the other doctors.
Thank you very much.
He's a gynecologist, by the way.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I stand here to second and support the motion that we pay tribute to our foreign colleague. Let me first clarify that I didn't get a copy of the post-mortem report, but I went for burial in Karamoja, and the information which was given to us by the Uganda Human Rights Commission is that Father Lokodo had traveled to Geneva to represent the commission, leading a team And while the conference was going on, he began feeling unwell and went downhill, and then he was rushed to the hospital. But he had a cough, flu, and he didn't survive for long in the hospital. He died. But I didn't look at the post-mortem report, but we can say he died of natural causes. But I think the report was given to the family. Maybe now that the Honorable Cooper has raised it, I will liaise with the family and look at it and see whether there are specific details. Right Honorable Speaker, I went to Karamoja and I delivered your message as our Speaker, and the devastation on the faces of people of Karamoja was very visible and palpable. You could really feel that the people of Karamoja have lost a very great son. People wailed, children cried, to the point of almost disrupting the funeral service. And when we inquired why the wailing was very heavy, among other reasons, we discovered that Father Lokodo was spending all his emoluments and payments and earnings to help the underprivileged and the orphans, especially in the greater Karamoja. And people were so saddened. Actually, they made a request to us who represented the government, that where shall we put all these children and young people that were being supported by Father Lokodo to access education in secondary school, in the university, and so forth. So it's a question which we came back with. So one thank the Lord for the life of Father Lokodo, who was with us here in the Parliament, and we pray that God receives him and gives him eternal rest. The body took time in Geneva, and by the time it arrived, I think the family and the church arranged on a date to have the funeral service and burial, which was quite short, and we didn't pay tribute in this house. And there has been speculation and a lot of talk on social media that the government didn't accord the respect to Father Lokodo, and I want to clarify that no. The Uganda Human Rights Commission, working with the family, agreed on the dates, and the time was so short between when the body arrived and the burial, but it had already been agreed, and I communicated it in the Karamoja that we shall pay tribute in the house, and I want to thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, that we have got this chance and opportunity to pay tribute. And also to clarify that the government met all the funeral expenses, including paying the medical bill in Geneva, bringing back the body, and all the expenses. His Excellency the President released over 400 million shillings to cater for all these arrangements. So we want to clarify to the public.
Thank you, Doctor.
Before I finish, Madam Speaker, Father Lokodo was with us in this house. When he was made a minister, the church requested him to choose whether to remain a church minister or a government minister. And yes, he said, remember we discussed it, he said, I am here to serve the people of God. And he continued as a government minister. I remember we sat, for information, I was also training to become a priest, but I didn't reach his level. We shared a verse in the Bible, which is recorded in the book of Psalms, chapter 110, verse 4, which says, the Lord has made his vows, and he shall not withdraw them. You are a priest forever. You are a priest of the order of Melchizedek. For those of you who read the Bible, Melchizedek was a king and a priest. And therefore, when Father Lokodo remained in Parliament and the minister, he remained serving as a true priest and a true politician. And that's why, if there was time, we would give testimony about his achievements and what he stood for. And particularly, he wanted a moral society, a society which is based on morality, ethics, integrity, professionalism, and we shall dearly miss him. But we thank him. We thank the people of Karamoja who gave us Father Lokodo, and he did a great work the time he was in Parliament and the Cabinet, and also when he had joined the Human Rights Commission. May the soul of Father Lokodo rest in eternal peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chris. As you've said, on top of being a Reverend Father, he was a politician, he was a rightist, and he was a moralist. Father, Doctor, can you first give us a feedback on what we sent you for? Because we are dealing with health.
Yes, we are dealing with the death and the sickness, right, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable Akamba Paul had earlier raised an issue that there is a strange disease in his district and constituency that has killed a number of children below 12 years. And I pledged to move and do consultations. I spoke, first of all, Honorable Akamba, it's true, he raised the issue with the district health officer. But when I spoke to the district health officer, it sounded strange that he had not taken any steps to check. And he was saying, are you sure the children are dying? And then I spoke to the mayor of Namutumba Town Council, the sub-county chairperson of Namutumba sub-county, and the district chairperson, who all confirmed that there is a strange disease that is killing children. Actually, the chairperson of Namutumba sub-county said about 10 children in this sub-county have died. He said he knows a family which has lost 3 children, and he says out of like 10 children they send to Mbale, about 7 or 8 die. So from the political leadership, the problem is there. I since talked to the Minister of Health, and she said no report had come from the district. But we agreed that she's going to link with the DHO and send her team, and on Tuesday she will bring a report. But she agreed she will take action to ensure that something is done. First of all, to identify what the disease is.
Just before you finish, can you also take an action on the DHO? Because we don't want these laissez-faire civil servants.
Absolutely, we shall follow it up because I was not happy with him. That's not how we are trained as doctors. Because even if it's only 1 day, you are supposed to leave what you are doing and make sure that you attend to it. So action will be taken, and the Honorable Minister of Health will bring a report here next week on Tuesday.
Thank you so much, Honorable Nakut.
Right Honorable Speaker, I wish to join my colleagues to pay tribute to the late Honorable Father Simon Lokodo. We miss him dearly as the people of Karamoja. I first knew Father Simon Lokodo when he was our priest in Kangole SS, and then when he joined politics in 2006 and 2007. He was a peace-loving man. In 2007, government decided to do a disarmament exercise in Karamoja. Although Father Simon was new in politics, he
Members,
took up
2 minutes, 2 minutes.
He took up the initiative to provide strategic direction. In a meeting I attended in Kotido in 2007, he helped coordinate the Karamoja leadership to midwife the disarmament exercise that was successful. The region enjoyed peace for 10 years after that. You are aware, Right Honorable Speaker, that as we speak now, Karamoja is back to the insecurity, and we need the peace that we needed most. And at such a time, we have lost a man that we needed the most. I don't think in our team as leaders of Karamoja now, we have somebody who can be both a priest and a politician to midwife the reconciliation and the peace that we need. On the 8th, we buried Father Lokodo. On that day, Right Honorable Speaker, this parliament was discussing a matter of security concerning the security of our neighbors, that the Karamojongs were causing insecurity to neighbors. We were all absent because we were burying Father Lokodo. The matter of peace and security is not something that we...
Honorable Faith, can you limit yours to a paying tribute? The issue of peace, the issue of the neighbors is going to come as a report.
All right, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I cry like this because we are missing a man who was instrumental in the fight for the peace that we need now. I see a gap that has been left. And so I would request this parliament that as a gift for remembrance of Father Lokodo, let's do whatever we can to restore peace, not only to the neighbors of Karamoja, but to Karamoja also. We have people who are hurting. May the soul of Father Lokodo rest in eternal peace.
Thank you, thank you. Dr. Bear? I'm coming.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise up to support the motion. Indeed, we have lost a true man of God. I first got to know Reverend Father Lokodo when I was in the youth politics. We came to meet him and invite him to address the young people during a conference. He never hesitated. He came and talked to these young people, inspired them, asked them to love God and also love their country. That day, I got inspired. I knew Reverend Father Lokodo for being an honest man and straightforward. He wouldn't bend his head, whether he's pleasing you or not, he will tell you facts. And that is the man that we have lost. Reverend Father Lokodo loved children. His love for children and the widow and the orphans was too much. One time I met him in Gulu on his way to his village. He had over 6 children in the car. I asked him, where are you going with all these children? He told me, those are the people that give me hope every day to live, and I work for them. This was a very strong statement. Right Honorable Speaker, St. John and Elohim Day was celebrated yesterday. This is an annual event every year. When Reverend Father Lokodo was the Minister for Ethics, he put in all his energy. He would be in Kitgum to ensure that this day is organized well. Yesterday, I was disappointed. I felt the loss of Reverend Father Lokodo, and I wish he was there. He would have done more. Right Honorable Speaker, we were thanking Reverend Father Lokodo for standing firm and speaking against all the misconducts in the country. But I also want to tell Right Honorable Speaker that Reverend Father Lokodo also suffered from the social media insults. And today I pray that this should come to an end. Yesterday, the bishop, while preaching, noted and said he's very disappointed with how the members of parliament go on social media to use vulgar words, to insult their leaders. This is something that if Reverend Father Lokodo was alive, he wouldn't want to see such a thing. And he urged us to ensure that we learn to respect each other. This was a message from the bishop, and he inserted it like 3 times. Right Honorable Speaker, I pray that this august house lives to the test of an ethical representation, whether you are in this parliament or outside the parliament. And that is something that we would call ethical behavior. And that's what our people would want to see from our leaders. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much. Hilary.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity.
2 minutes.
Madam Speaker, I join my colleagues and people of Karamoja and the rest of the Ugandans in mourning and paying tribute to the fallen hero, honorable colleague, true son from Karamoja, son of Uganda and senior citizen, national and international figure, for contributing immensely to the nation, a patriot, human rights activist, and defender, the person of integrity who fought corruption, who had battles of satanic and divine forces by condemning imported animosity, foreign cultures of homosexuality, lesbianism, indecent dressing, of seducing opposite sex, etc. Honorable Father Simon Lokodo was a former parish priest. I was baptized by a father, and I used to go with him for apostolate. And I knew Father for the last 31 years, from 1990. He served as a member of parliament in my district, that is Dodoth County. And then later, when Karenga was created, he went to Dodoth West County. Honorable Speaker, Father Simon Lokodo died in the line of duty while in Switzerland. According to a member from Uganda Human Rights Commission, she said that Father said in his message, "I am unwell. I need a return flight." Again, later, his last message, Father sent a message that I am. He said that I am afraid I may not make it back home. That was his last statement until he died. Honorable Father Lokodo knew. Honorable Father Lokodo did the following. Education. He sponsored so many hundreds of children within Karamoja.
Members, I don't want to repeat. Don't repeat what has been already said.
Father Lokodo built a nursery school, the first nursery school in Karamoja. Father Lokodo took care of the elderly. He took care of orphans. He took care of disabled people and those ones who were helpless. He fed the hungry. Father Lokodo fought corruption, and he said one time that the law should be amended to for the civil servants to have contracts for 5 years to evaluate their performance. That was Father Simon Lokodo. Madam Speaker, therefore, the late Honorable Father Lokodo fought a good fight, and he will be remembered for his hard work and inconsistency for the right cause. While he was still with us, it is hard to accept that Father Lokodo has gone too soon. In
Thank
eternal
you,
peace.
Minister Daudi. Then
thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to join my colleagues in supporting the motion to pay tribute to our friend Simon Father Lokodo, and really appreciate the contribution he made as a father, as a priest in the church, the sacrifice he made, and also as a contribution he made as a minister and a political leader in Karamoja. I remember him as a very truthful person, and a firm leader. And I want to quote a few examples where I found him a very firm leader. The first one was when, as Honorable Elijah said, when there was this organization of Nyegenye in Jinja. Nyegenyege in Jinja. And Father Simon Lokodo stood very firm. He fought that this function should not take place, and unfortunately the function continued and took place. And he called a press conference and mentioned publicly that the devil had won and he had lost. But he was very firm. The second point was when were in a certain meeting and were discussing about the leadership code. I was of the opinion, like he was, that when we declare our assets, these papers that we declare should be published, avoid so many questions and many times when people put things that we don't possess. And in that meeting, we argued, and unfortunately, again, we could not go through. Again, Father Lokodo said, you know, they have won again. So he was very firm. During the efforts of when I moved the private, and my colleagues, the private members' bill on anti-homosexuality, Father Lokodo was very instrumental in defending our action. He was pro-life. He really worked hard on issues of pornography and made sure that this law was enacted here, the pornography and pornography law. He supported efforts to fight issues of abortion and other moral issues in the country. So we really want to thank him for all that he contributed. We thank the relatives who are seated in the gallery for supporting him, and also the people of Karamoja for continuing to support him when he was not feeling well. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, we have a duty to carry on the work of Father Lokodo, especially on issues of morals. He was very passionate against corruption. He abhorred corruption. So we have a duty as colleagues to enact all the remaining legislation to fix this issue of corruption. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Daudi, Honorable Minister, the Elder of Karamoja.
You are right, Right Honorable. I'm an elder, senior elder there. Right Honorable, I have come here to stand to talk about the person I knew from childhood. Father Lokodo started primary and immediately chose to go and do the job of God by training as a priest. Trained in Karamoja, came to Kampala and other areas, and went abroad. He studied in Italy, Germany, and other areas. He died when he had already known 4 international languages, including Greek. But when he was doing all that, whenever he would come, he would talk about education and encouraging Karamojong to become priests. Of course, some of us, even me, I wanted to become a priest, but my parents said, no. You produce some people to increase the world. So all that time he was coming, he was doing that. When he became a priest, because of his connections, is when now he started getting some money from outside to uplift the church and educate the people of Karamoja. I come from the far south, he comes from the north. But the way we would interact together, it was imaginable. Now, after being a priest, when he came to Palestine, each time we would raise some concern about Karamoja. We would articulate very well that this is how to handle this, and the government would accept. The time during the first disarmament exercise, I was the Minister of State for Karamoja. And all my colleagues came, told them, with these guns, we shall destroy ourselves and other people. And everybody bought in. And we really worked with Father Lokodo. But after I lost also my wife recently, he came. He was quarreling with me. Why didn't you ring me immediately?
I said I was crying, and he started also crying. Then I said, okay, let's go and bury. After burying, I again met him. Then I didn't know when he left to go abroad. But one time when I was just looking at the social media, I saw the picture of Father Lokodo that he has died. I said, what? Are these people wishing this boy to die? I was now quarreling that these people are wishing. Because I had just seen him and we had interacted. Only to learn later that it is real. And couldn't really help crying, thinking about Father Lokodo and thinking the children he had, who on the day of burial. So many students whom he is sponsoring were fainting, were being carried, almost dead. And I would hear them saying, now you have left us, what can we do? We have left us, we should also die. These were the utterances of the children. So I don't know, Right Honorable, since the spokesman of government has spoken, we must look at so that we assist these children. My brother, who is now not here, but in heaven, that sit there, we shall all come and share the city with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Komol Midi. Komol.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members. I rise to support the motion. My name is Komol Joseph Midi, Member of Parliament representing the people of the North constituency in Kabong district. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for this session convened to pay tribute and last respect to the late Honorable Father Simon Lokodo, who is the former Minister of Ethics and Integrity. Right Honorable Speaker, the late Honorable Father Simon Lokodo is a Catholic brother. He was born in Nareng Park Parish, Kasile Sub-County in Dodos North. However, for the rest of his time, he has settled in Kapedo Sub-County in Dodos West constituency. Right Honorable Speaker, the late Father Simon Lokodo is known to the people of Karamoja first as a dedicated Catholic priest who worked hard in the work of evangelization and also community development through his support for education, support for the elderly, and the support for the orphans. Right Honorable Speaker. The late Honorable Father Simon Lokodo spearheaded sponsorship of boys and girls to further their education, a task he has done up to the time he has died. Right Honorable Speaker, the late Father Simon Lokodo was always at the forefront to mitigate famine in Kabong district. As you know, Karamoja is always prone to famine due to drought and weather vagaries. So in all the parishes where he worked as a priest, he made sure that he lobbied for food and gave to the orphans and Right Honorable Speaker, the rest has been said. Allow me mention the following. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to echo the plea the entire Karamoja, namely that the tribute to Honorable Simon Lokodo will be meaningful if accompanied by the following tangible development in honor of the late Honorable Father Simon as a gesture of our willingness to continue his legacy be considered by this August House. Number one, Right Honorable Speaker, the government takes over to educate over the hundreds of children who have been left, who has been under his care. Secondly, government establishes a secondary school at Sangar Sub-County in the names of Simon Lokodo Seed Secondary School. Thirdly, government fast-tracks the upgrading of Karenga Health Center 4 into a fully-fledged hospital. Fourthly, the position that he died in that had been, where had been appointed as a commissioner, be given to Ene Karamojong.
Thank
I beg
you.
to move.
Thank you so much. John Bosco. Nyoga.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker,
Members,
for giving me the
2
opportunity.
2 minutes.
For giving me the opportunity to pay tribute to a man I have known because of having lived with his brother, Lukwang Haldo, who is here, while at St. Mary's Seminary. He has lived a life of service. For those who know the training in the seminary, somebody who has lived 36 years of service, the training takes close to about 10 or 15 years. So he's lived virtually all his life serving. And as if he was not content of being a priest, after that, instead of resting, he actually took another 16 years serving the nation. So we're celebrating a life of a person that has served the nation. He calls for the fusion of the church and the state. Having worked as a priest, I think he was not comfortable that that was enough. He actually went to work with the state as well. So he really calls for this fusion of the state and the church. And finally, he lives a life that we want to live and we hope to live, the care for the less privileged. I think many people have actually talked about how many people are collapsing during his death. And so it is a call to us to take care of the less privileged, those that cannot be able to get education, and those that cannot be able to get what they need to be able to survive. I beg to submit. Thank you.
Kotido Municipality, I will come to you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Ismail Mohamed Lomar, MP Kotido Municipality. I want to join the August House in paying last tribute to Right Reverend Father Lokodo. Right Honorable Speaker, God gave man 3 duties: to protect human dignity, to protect human blood, to protect human property. Right Honorable Father Lokodo stood to the principle of God in protecting human dignity. African values were abused by the Western powers, introducing cultures that are not African. Father Reverend Lokodo stood with Africans in protecting the dignity of Africa. I want to celebrate the life of Father Lokodo for upholding the African culture, the African values that he stood. No amount of influence could change its position. Right Honorable Speaker, Father Lokodo fought to protect human property. In Karamoja, among the communities that don't steal is the community where the Father Lokodo comes from. That's Napore. It's in record. They don't steal. They don't raid. They are farmers and pastoralists. During the disarmament, Right Honorable Speaker, Father Lokodo spoke to make sure that sanity came to Karamoja. He stood with the word of God to protect human property, human blood. Father Reverend Lokodo.
Philip.
Finally, Right Honorable Speaker. Father Reverend Lokodo fought so hard to make sure that there is no blood that is poured in Karamoja. That's why he stood with the government in fighting the war of a gun. I beg to submit.
You look all Philip.
Right Honorable Speaker, I am Lokwang Phillips Ilukol, MP Napore West. I joined the rest of my colleagues and the August House to pay tribute to late Father Lokodo. Lokodo was an icon of possibilism who made sure the impossible comes possible. the rottenness in our society should be exposed and corrected. Despite the majority guessed of those who did not want the correction in society to be done, but he stood firm. In this respect, I really request that as Ugandans, as members of parliament, let's emulate the start, the beginning that he ushered in, that we can push forward to correct our society to be very clean. I really pray to God that his soul rests in eternal peace.
Thank you, Sylvia. Sylvia.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Sylvia Vicky, the woman MP in Blatuk. I rise to join the rest of members of parliament to pay tribute to our brother, Reverend Father Lokodo. Reverend Father Lokodo was a family friend, and Father Lokodo was a very generous person. His support was not limited only to his family. As long as you approach Father Lokodo, he will support you. My colleagues, that is the man we have lost. Very generous. His home was always full. They used to cook food in big saucepans. Very many dependents. Every day I go to SETA, I get a large number of people. That is the man we have lost. Father Lokodo was a very good mentor. He mentored me politically. He mentored other people. Those people he educated. He didn't want grudges with the people. Whenever he has a problem with you, later he calls and says, no, let's reconcile. That is the man we have lost. Father Lokodo is a very big loss to Karamoja as a region and Uganda as large. Thank you very much.
Nancy.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Nancy.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker and my colleagues. I want to join the rest of my colleagues to condole and contribute to our late Father Lokodo. We have lost a great man. On behalf of the people of Lamu that I represent and on my own behalf, I want to say that as great leaders of this nation, we need to emulate all the good moral values that he was preaching and serving this country. We are so corruptible in our minds as leaders. There are so many things that we do that doesn't represent that we are leaders. People are abusing ourselves on social media. When we talk of ethics, you cannot wake up in the morning to abuse the deputy speaker, to abuse your fellow colleagues, and then you call yourself a member of parliament. When we talk of corruption, Father Lokodo has been preaching issues of incorruptible. In the book, once was written by Ngugu wa Thiong'o and Ngugu wa Miri, that the beautiful ones are not yet born. But when are they going to be born? We need to start walking the journey by showing the light to the people that we lead, showing good morals in society. We shouldn't be incorruptible in our thoughts, in our minds, and in our actions, because we stand the test of these nations and we are representative of so many. Honorable Speaker and my colleagues, as I sit down, Father Lokodo was not only representing the people of Karamoja, he was representing Uganda and this nation to greater heights, because by the time he breathed his last breath, he was representing Uganda among great nations. So I want to urge the government of Uganda to remember him for all the good deeds. He should also be given an awards of medals when other people.
Thank you, Milton. Pius. Milton, then Pius.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Chigunga, Seta Mukono, where the rest used to stay, I convey our heartfelt condolences. The late was my neighbor. We were all staying at Inviri Road in Mukono municipality. So on behalf of those people, who are not here, I convey our heartfelt condolences. Right Honourable Speaker, the late, I think, lived a civil life. He remained himself. For the 10 years I was with him here in the house, he never changed his way of life. It is a humble appeal to our colleagues here. Some friends of ours are always very friendly before they elevated to some levels. The moment they cross the line, they totally change in terms of access, behavior. It should be on record, as we see of our dear one, that he lived a true life of a Ugandan who loved his country, who loved his people, and he was so endearing and friendly to the people of Iganga. Right Honourable Speaker, honourable members, Iganga and Jinja host so many Karamajongs, and he always thanked me, thank you for keeping our people. He would always put off time to come and greet them. Even during times of campaigns, he would pass by and tell them, Mata, Mata. Then when it comes to the voting, please don't remember our friend. He was an asset in my politics. I remember him. May his soul rest in peace.
Thank you, Pius. Silas. Members, we have a bill that will take about 4 hours.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I also rise to support the motion. Right Honourable Speaker, in life, no one will remember how you looked.
Hajat, you are going to speak next. You come and speak for your colleague, Esther. Come back.
Yes. Right Honourable Speaker, I was saying in life, no one will remember how you looked, walked, or talked, or what you did. Everyone just remembers you by the way you made them feel when they were with you. Father Lokodo made us feel that corruption was indeed ungodly and very bad. But unfortunately, corruption in Uganda, according to the reports we get, is either constant or increasing. The best gift we can give to the late Father Lokodo is for all of us to unite against corruption. Father Lokodo made us believe that dressing tight miniskirts was evil. But up to date, people have failed also to change, including Parliament also. Sometimes you see people putting on what Father Lokodo was fighting. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Oh, thank you, Pius. At least I've not seen any of my members in a miniskirt. All my members are very decent, and they are still emulating what Father Lokodo said. Don't put on miniskirts. Silo, Karamoja Parliamentary Group. Silence.
Right,
Minister Karamoja, you will speak last.
Right Honourable Speaker, allow me to start by thanking you for having accorded my uncle a befitting tribute in this house. That has been so kind of you. And whenever I met him in the corridors of Parliament, he would call me Ochenio, and I would say uncle. He always represented joy. Even when I was broke and I met him, I felt like I had money because the man was good. Father Lokodo was a true father. We have people here, many may be called fathers. I'm not talking of the religious sense, but they are not fathers. But Father Simon Lokodo was a true father, both in the other father and is the father of the world. Right Honourable Speaker, I want to note him as somebody who was so humble indeed. He was the chairperson of our association, the International Association of Parliamentarians for Peace. And there's a time I was supposed to travel with him to Niger. But I think again he was not feeling well. He was not able to come with me. If it was another person, they would have struggled even when they are sick and said, I want to get into the plane and go. But he was such a person who was always not putting money and other things ahead of him. That is why, even in that duty, where I go to this final exit, at least what we know is that for him, he kept our word as citizens of Uganda, that we are not accepting issues of homosexuality, and he put the marker there clearly. Right Honorable Speaker, he has worked for just a short time. He worked for less than a year maybe with the Human Rights Commission. But the marker that he has left with what he has done there, 4 months I'm told, is such a big, big legacy. What a heart, what a man, what a father. He was a true citizen of this country. I respect him, and I want to pray that we second the position which was brought up by one person here, that we ring fence his position for my uncles. What is wrong with that? Let us give that position back to my uncles. They deserve it. They are part of this country. They are good people. They have good hearts. They are hardworking. They mean what they mean, and they say what they mean. Thank you. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Chairman Karamoja Parliamentary Group, then.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, so many things have been said about Father Lokodo. 2 things: to thank you for this day, and to thank His Excellency for the quick response. Because where in Karamoja would we have got that much money for 400 million, transport his body, take care of the burial, and up to this moment. And I want to thank you also, Madam Speaker, in a special way for your contribution to the family. You gave me 20 million, share delivered to the family. They are here with you today. Father Lokodo is not here. We are not paying tribute to him here because he was a priest, or because he was a honorable, or he was a former minister. It is because he fought cultural imperialism. And this is a new disease. They want to colonize us again for the second time. For God's sake, why is it in our, these ideas of homosexuality? Even these words are not even in our languages. Lesbianism, what? Same-sex marriages. These new things are the ones being introduced to us in the pretext of giving us money, grants. And we were called, Madam Speaker, Uganda was summoned to Geneva for human rights peer review to explain their position about these words I don't want them to repeat. And Father Lokodo insisted that he put the text down. He worked with the human rights lawyers. He wanted to be there to ensure that the message is delivered, and he did deliver. And I'm sure he knew that in the process he might lose his life because he was not feeling well. But I don't know, that's another question. If he went here without the test, if he went from Entebbe on 25th, he was tested there, no COVID up there. Then one day again he dies saying they say COVID. I don't understand those machines.
We'll get the report.
Let's uphold the principle of our protecting our positive African culture. He fought for the African, as one honorable said here. Let's take that at heart as members of parliament in this house, protect our cultural values, our Christian values, our African.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Matchbox.
Yes.
She's called Matchbox.
Allow me to join my colleagues to pay tribute to our fallen father. Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable
Member, she's called Maureen Ozoro.
My name is Osoro Maureen from Arua City. Right Honorable Speaker, Father Lokodo was pro-people's person, a religious man, a family man, a friend, a father, and a colleague. At the time he served as a minister, he made sure that he lowered himself he was down to earth. He lowered himself to members of parliament, not only us here in the house, even to other Ugandans too. To the extent, when he visits your area, he'll always make sure that he calls members of parliament of the area. In case you're not available, Father Lokodo will always even speak on your behalf without even you knowing. Right, Honorable Speaker? Not only that, he was also a joker. I remember I had a joke with him in 10th Parliament. When I told him, in this August House, we only eat and sit, I would wish for him to join sports. So he kept on promising me until date. Unfortunately, God called him. We shall always miss him.
Thank you.
And for the great contributions he made towards development, may his soul rest in peace.
Amen. For that reason, we are going to lay the gold medals that you brought on Tuesday. You lay them on table. We got so many gold medals, front desk. I saw Hajat. Please sanitize.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want join colleagues to pay tribute to Father Lokodo. Right Honorable Speaker, I know Father Lokodo when we all joined Parliament in the 8th Parliament. Father Lokodo was a very jolly and friendly person. Right Honorable Speaker, Father Lokodo is a man who has contributed the economic transformation of this country. Those days, if you used to travel to Karamoja, you might move up to Kidebo, where you can get accommodation, or else you remain in Moroto. But right now, when you travel to Karamoja, you can now have a comfortable sleep in Kabong. He has put a hotel there and nice cottages that we can use. In that, he has created employment opportunity for our people. Right Honorable Speaker, recently I was there. I even got a worker who is from Kenya, and some were people from Jinja, meaning that Father created a job for the East Africans, not only the Ugandans. Father Lokodo has been paying taxes because if you have that facility, whether you want or not, now you must pay taxes. That's how he has been contributing to the economic transformation of this area. Indeed, Father Lokodo supporting good cultures of the Africans and also working against those that are not good. Especially Father Lokodo did not support female genital mutilation, FGM. He was against it. There was a time when he was talking about it. Then he said, those who are supporting FGM against God because they don't deserve the design God has put. That's how he was talking against FGM. That's how Father Lokodo was. When Father Lokodo was talking against miniskirt, there was a time I asked him, I said, Father, you are talking about minister, do you want to change to be a Muslim? Because it is only the Muslim women who are supposed to dress in long dresses. Then he told me, no, my sister, the long dresses are not only for the Muslim women, because when you dress in a decent long dresses, you look smarter than opening your bodies to people to watch. That is how Father Lokodo was. As a friend, before I become a minister, we used to sit with him in that corner, and that was our corner where we need to contribute in this house. Father, you have done your part. God has called you, because in the Quran, God said, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, meaning that from God you come, to God you must return. Now that you have returned.
Amen. Minister of Karamoja.
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, on behalf of the Ministry of Karamoja Affairs and the Office of the Prime Minister, I pay tribute to the late Father Lokodo. I met Father Lokodo in the 10th Parliament, where we were both members of Parliament and also served as members of Cabinet. What I know of Father Lokodo, he was a down-to-earth man. He was a down-to-earth legislator who fought for upright and acceptable standards of behavior in society. He may have had his weaknesses, which is human to all of us. But as Karamoja Ministry, we treasured Father for his enthusiasm to help and support his people and our people of Karamoja. Father Lokodo was a pillar and icon to his people of Karenga, Kabong, and Karamoja as a whole. I was reliably informed about how he paid school fees for many of the Karamojong youth and children. This was evidenced at his burial, where over 200 children dressed in black t-shirts with his picture were wailing and crying when Father's casket was lowered in the grave. They had a song which they were all singing. Our Father, we are very sorry, and we're all listening to this song. It was a touching moment to many of us who attended that burial. All his resources for a right cause of giving education to the vulnerable people of Karamoja. As a Ministry for Karamoja Affairs, we are working day and night to do more to cover the gaps Father left in the community. Father was a developmental person. For example, he constructed a state-of-art hotel in Kabong town to create jobs, and also his hotel attracts tourists and other visitors who bring money into the districts of Kabong and Karenga. I was also reliably informed that he held peace meetings aimed at stopping cattle rustling in the region of Karamoja. We are yet to hold a regional council, Right Honorable Speaker, in Moroto, and we are planning as a ministry to push for more to be done, what Father left behind, so that the children of Karamoja can have a fair education. As a ministry, we've lost a stakeholder and a friend we needed most at this time. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you, amen. Members, you've heard all that, all the good things Father did, how he was a very good father with very good values. He has left a legacy of integrity, corrupt-free. He valued his culture. He believed in an unforced marriage. That was Father for you. He was a politician, he was a rightist, and he was a moralist. We thank God for his life, and may his soul rest in eternal peace. I now put a question that the motion for resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to late Honorable Father Simon Lokodo for his dedicated service to the nation be approved by this House. Those in favor say unto the contrary, nay. The ayes have it. Now I ask the clerk to extract the resolutions of this House and give them to the family, including the amendments. I want to thank you so much for paying tribute to our uncle. Thank you. Family, thank you so much for coming. Odole Joko, Yalama. Next item.
Prime Minister's time.
And next, today we will not have Prime Minister's time. Next item.
Bill second reading.
The bill second reading.
The Mining and Minerals Bill 2021.
The bills and mineral the Mining and Minerals Bill 2021 was tabled for the first reading on 18th November 2021 and referred to the Committee of Natural Resources. The committee considered the bill, and the bill is now due for the second reading. Honorable Minister of Energy.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the bill entitled Mining and Minerals Bill 2021 be read for the second time. Beg to move.
Is the motion seconded? Is it seconded? Seconded by the Minister of Energy, DP, Honorable Kasai, Honorable Karamoja Affairs, Kanungu, Mitoma, Mbale, Wanda, William, Judith, Matchbox, Jane, Lobo, Kamara, Bueshu, and Soroti, Kapelibiong, Terego, UPDF, by the whole House. Would you love to speak to your motion? The Minister, just briefly.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. This bill, which we are presenting, the Ministry is presenting, is trying to seek for various items to be included and passed in the new bill, which had been omitted from the bill of 2003, which is currently being implemented. And this is the one which is guiding the mineral sector. So there are very many items which have included, which we beg this Honorable House to look at so that we pass in order to get a vibrant mining sector in place. As you will notice when we are discussing, you will see silent issues which will be of interest to you, so that we revitalize the mining industry in Uganda. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for the brief justification. And the justification is basically on the principles of the bill. Can I now have the chairperson of Natural Resources to present the committee report? The report was uploaded, it is on the laptops.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Right Honorable Speaker, before I present the report, I beg to lay on table minutes of proceedings in consideration of the Mining and Minerals Bill 2021, together with the other accompanying documents. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay.
Please lay.
Right Honorable Speaker, as you rightly observed, our report is already uploaded, and for that matter, I'm going to make a synopsis of the whole report so as to enable us go through it much quickly, because the whole report is quite large. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, I beg to present a report of the Committee on Environment and Natural Resources on the Mining and Minerals Bill 2021. The committee considered the bill in accordance with the rules of procedure of Parliament, Rule 1.
Procedure, Right Honorable.
Yes.
Right Honorable, our iPads cannot give us a fresh call, and we cannot really follow what the chairperson is presenting.
Do you have the report on the iPad?
Sorry, Right Honorable, sorry?
Do you have the report?
No, we can't even access it because the fresco is off. And it has just been uploaded, Right Honorable.
Can you check your iPad with that desk?
Information, Madam Speaker.
Yes,
Madam Speaker, allow me to take this opportunity to inform you that you gave us these gadgets.
Pardon?
You gave us these gadgets, so-called iPads. Some of us don't even carry them because they have a lot of iniquities, a lot of problems. I wonder what is happening. No wonder it is not, some cannot even open.
Kindly, IT department, could you support? IT department, could you support the members? All of you cannot open the report. You get up and say it is open. You get up. Get up and say the thing is opening. Members, can I hear from Kanungu? You first tell us, is it opening or not?
Madam Speaker, mine is opening up, so I don't know the problem.
Thank you. The iPads are the same. And IT, can you work on the iPad for Honorable Kayunga and Ntungamo? For you don't know how to operate. Silo, you don't know how to operate. Members, let's get serious on the bill. If you want a hard copy, they should also bring a hard copy. But let's go ahead with the bill. Let's not waste time. Yes.
Madam Speaker, although it's available on some iPad, it has just been uploaded. Now, that means that we haven't actually read it and internalized it, other than what the chair is going to present. Now, according to our rules of procedure, there is provision that it can be presented, and then the debate can ensue at a later point in time. Will it be procedurally okay, Madam Speaker, if we receive it, and then we follow with the debate in the course of next week?
Government Chief Whip, there's a procedure matter here. You see, you have the iPad, I mean the document on your iPad. Now the chairperson is also reading the same report. And in my thinking, you'd be listening to and understanding what the report is about. This report has been in the committee for 60 days, over 60. And I expect, and it's a government report, and you people are in.
Right Honourable Speaker, a member of Parliament.
And a chairperson of a committee.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. A member of Parliament, Right Honourable Speaker, is a member of each and every committee. Is an ex-official member of each and every committee. When you have interest in a certain issue that belongs to a certain committee, Right Honourable Speaker, you go to that committee, you make presentations. On several occasions we've done it. Right Honourable Speaker, this bill is overdue. There are very, very important assignments we have as government. We need to move. Therefore, on our side as government, we really needed this bill as soon as yesterday. So we request you allow us, we proceed with processing the bill.
Chair, can you read your report?
Madam Speaker.
Can we listen to the report where we will have a disagreement? We will raise it up. I am going to allow you to debate on this report on condition that we finish. Whether it means reaching midnight, you will sit here. We shall sit here.
Right, Honourable Speaker, I just beg for your clarification whether I should read the whole report or I go with the synopsis which I was presenting.
You're going to read 300 pages. I told you to give us executive summary.
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for your guidance. And I want to thank you, first of all, for according my committee additional time the other week when I came here, and I asked for extension of time to allow us scrutinize this bill.
Members, the report has a minority report which will also be read later. I thought you're a senior member of this house.
Right Honourable Speaker, the Mining and Minerals Bill 2021 seeks to provide for a robust, predictable and transparent legal regime that sets out to unlock the potential of the mineral subsector to spur economic development and transformation of Uganda. Currently, the subsector's contribution to the national economy stands at a dismal 1.4% despite its huge potential. Therefore, the Mining and Minerals Bill 2021 seeks to address the inconsistencies in the subsector, fill the gaps identified in the Mining Act of 2003, and also align Uganda's legislative framework with the emerging trends in the national development agenda and the global mining industry. Right Honourable Speaker and honourable colleagues, as I've already said, that I have a comprehensive report, but I will allow me highlight key components of our report. 1, financial implication. The committee observed that the implementation of the bill over a period of 10 years will require Uganda shillings 2,372.181 billion, of which only Uganda shillings 26.166 billion, an equivalent of 1%, has been committed. However, The committee noted that there is no corresponding financing in the 2021 budget to implement the bill, and the Mineral Development Program remains unfunded under the NDP3. The committee recommends that government prioritizes the implementation of the Mining and Minerals Bill 2021 by ensuring adequate funding in the financial year 2022-2023 and subsequently in the next 10 years.
Yes, Doctor.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. Right Honorable Speaker, last week on Tuesday, there was an advert in the papers inviting stakeholders to present their views. The miners from Bukuya were just preparing their submission. A week later, there is a report ready. So I don't know whether it is procedurally right for us to proceed without exhausting the views of the mining communities.
Can we find out if they met the
information?
The miners? Somebody has information? Katesh.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and thank you, our colleague, for raising that issue. The information I want to give the Honorable House is that we interacted with stakeholders, and among them was a representative of the association that brings together the small-scale miners and artisanal miners. And therefore, it's not true that they never had an opportunity to present their positions, and the committee adequately considered their presentations. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, even in their list of stakeholders, they are not there. I represent these people. We just sat over the weekend to come and give you a petition after we heard that it is going to be this week. So I beg that they give us a week or a day and we come and present our views. There is no reason as to why we are hurrying. Even my sister from Busia is sending me a message that they haven't interacted. So I beg that they give us time and we see. We have two associations in Bukuya. We have a federation. We have Mubende Miners Assembly. They haven't listened to us. They only advertised last week on Tuesday. And they finished the report. Maybe they had the report already. That is the only explanation. Let us give them a chance to come and make their presentation.
Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
When your government chief whip is talking.
Madam Speaker, we are people's representatives here, and we guard indeed the interests of our people. Madam Speaker, when this bill came, our colleagues, we should have made effort to go and represent our people. Madam Speaker, the chairperson of the committee came here to even ask for extra time, which was granted. And he had to present the bill, the report, in that extra time. Madam Speaker, the report that is here is now beyond the committee. It's a report of the House. It's our report here. The chairman does not have power to even take it back. So, Right Honorable Speaker, to me, if a member has any views from their constituents, they still have a chance on committee stage, where you will give them a chance to present the views of their people. I'm sorry if indeed, because I tried for up, I understand the two groups of artisanal miners were represented. If the chairman really didn't include it in the report, he can explain, but he can also present here on the floor their submission, so that is captured. But Madam Speaker, you gave us enough time, and I think this courage of us having bills for months and months, we have to take our stand so that it does not continue in the House.
Dr. Bukenya, I want you to attentively listen to the clauses where you feel you're not satisfied for the good of your people, bring the amendments, and remember you are the representative of those people.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I beg that if we listen to the report, they give us the weekend and we prepare for committee stage when we have adequately read their recommendation.
Dr. Bukenya, I am only one presiding officer in this house. You should appreciate I am going into a policy ministerial statement. I cannot do all these things, please. Unless if we are saying we suspend until further notice.
We are only
yes,
asked up to
Attorney
Tuesday.
General.
Right Honorable Speaker, at the risk of running ahead of myself, I would like to allay the fears of the Honorable MP for Bukuya, whose constituency has many artisanal miners. This bill, in essence, fortifies their work. It allows them to operate, as you will see. I would request that you allow us process the bill, then you will see that they are comfortable. It has catered for them. There's nothing adversely provided for, as far as artisanal miners are concerned.
Honorable Chair, can you read your report?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. As I proceed with my report, I want to allay the fears of my colleague, Honorable Dr. Iga, that artisanal miners were consulted. Among the various stakeholders that we consulted include Uganda Chamber of Mines and Petroleum, Uganda Law Society, National Environment Management Authority, Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, civil society organizations, who included representatives of artisanal miners, Attorney General, Gold Refiners and Dealers Association, African Union, Advocates for Natural Resources and Development, and Nalule Energy and Mineral Consultants, among others. Right Honorable Speaker, the consultation was comprehensive, and just as in Parliament here, everybody cannot come, so representatives of all stakeholders were duly consulted. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me now move to the second key issue contained in our report, building substances. The committee is of the view that regulation for the exploitation of building substances should be regulated in a separate law rather than being lumped up in a law intended to regulate minerals. The committee therefore recommends that Part 6 of the bill be deleted and that government moves a bill to regulate building substances within 6 months from the date of gazettement of this bill. Else, my committee will take it up to regulate building substances such as sand, clay, marram, and others. 3, prohibition of use of explosives without authorization. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, the use of mercury and cyanide, especially in the mining of gold, is inevitable considering the locally existing technology in our country. The committee recommends that the use of mercury in the informal sector of artisanal and small-scale and gold mining should be regulated as government works towards its total elimination in accordance with the Minamata Convention. 4, state equity participation. The bill grants that a large-scale or medium-scale mining license may give the state an ownership interest at no cost of up to a maximum of 15% in a large-scale mining license or medium-scale mining license. The committee recommends that state equity interest be reduced from 15% to 10% to attract investors in the sector and to allow our country compete favorably with the countries whose mining subsector is already well established and developed and have fixed the free carry at 15%. I'm summarizing. This is a summary of the report. The committee further found it pertinent to increase the percentage of royalties received by local governments, given that they are the ones that have to contend with the negative impacts of mining. The committee recommends to provide for the sharing of royalties as follows: 70% central government, 15% local governments, 10% sub-counties, and 5% to the landowners.
Procedure.
Right Honorable Speaker, another pertinent issue was concerning the Mineral Protection Force. The committee observed that the mandate of the force, as provided for in the bill, is a replica of that of the Directorate of Geological Surveys and Mines. This overlap in mandate is likely to result in disputes and conflicts. The committee further noted that the protection force attached to government agencies and departments have been misused to violate the rights of the persons carrying out businesses in the respective sectors. The committee therefore recommends that the responsible minister enters into a memorandum of understanding with the Uganda Police Force for proper management of mineral protection. 7. Mineral agreements. Clause 30 of the bill seeks to provide for terms and conditions contained under a mineral agreement, and among these is a production sharing agreement. The committee took cognizance of the need to qualify the application of the production sharing agreement and therefore recommends that production sharing agreement apply to a highly capitalized, highly investment and complex mining. Furthermore, application of these agreements should be limited to where the presence of minerals have been ascertained or quantified. Right Honorable Speaker, these are the most pertinent issues that I felt needed to be highlighted. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, my committee observes that a thriving mineral sector contributes immensely to a country's social and economic development. The Mining and Mineral Bill is pertinent in addressing the existing gaps in the current Mining Act of 2003, such as licensing of artisanal small-scale miners, issuing production sharing agreements that prioritize the country's interests, establishing a national mining company, and strengthening the role of local governments in the mineral subsector. Therefore, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, passing the Mining and Minerals Bill 2021 will strengthen the legal and regulatory framework, as well as the human and institutional capacity that will immensely enhance the mineral sector. Accordingly, Right Honorable Speaker, the committee has proposed amendments to the bill, which we now invite this House to consider for approval to enable its passing into law. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to report. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chairman, for the executive summary. I will still urge you to look at the main summary, and the committee members were mindful of their voters down there. We had a meeting before we came here to reconcile the positions, and as the representatives of the people, there are things we did not agree with the government, and the government had to concede that we cannot make our locals suffer. And we are going now to look at them. We will look at them at committee stage. We have a minority report, Tebandeke and Kanyike.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I've also seen wind of the minority report, but unless you delegate or you give authorization that that rule will be suspended, because the rules of procedure grant you that power, and that I present that minority report, because you're the only one with the powers. If the House approves that the rule on presentation of minority report be suspended, so that the committee, so that the whole House gets chance to listen briefly to it. It's a rule that can be suspended with the leave of the Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable. Yes, government.
Thank you, Right Honorable. Whereas indeed it's in your powers and the House that we can suspend rules, there must be a clear reason. No one has been stopped from coming to this House. No one has asked for permission formally that they are going to be absent from this House, so that we can reach an extent of even suspending rules to accommodate their views. So, Right Honourable Speaker, I beg your indulgence that for any member who would want his views presented in a certain fashionable way, without seeking your permission to be outside this House, or without having any serious reason for being outside this House, shouldn't be given audience. That would be what I beg, Right Honourable.
When you look at Rules 205, subsection 2, the member or members dissenting from the opinion of the majority report of the committee shall be given time to present the minority report at the time of consideration of the committee report. And I am not sure whether it is a do or die for us to suspend the rule. Let's go by the rule, because this is people's house. Tebandeke is a member of this house. Kanyike is a member of this house. They should have come to present their views. And we agreed with them, please come.
Most obliged, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, Mehdi. Bodu, thank you. Thank you. Can we move on? Thank you, members, for the report. And I am opening the debate, the report to a debate. I am opening the report to a debate. Bodu, Insireko.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I would like to thank the committee for the job well done. I know we are late in enactment of this law. The policy was out as far as 2018. I would like to thank the committee for having harmonized the position on the issue of building substances, and would like to commend you on that matter and state categorically clear that the views of our people as regards the ownership of maram, sand, clay, and other building substances at least be in the hands of our people. That needs a scientific approach for all of us to study. You might end up finding over 60% of the land in Uganda covered with either sand, maram, or clay. And at the end of the day, if all that is left only in the hands, I'm not saying not, but only in the hands of the government, we may deny our people that useful income and innovative skills to come up with in either construction or what we would call elementary mining. Therefore, I would like to thank the report, the framers of the report, that is the committee, for having come up with that strike compromise. Secondly, Right Honourable Speaker, on the issue of time, I was also concerned But now that we have agreed that we are here as members, we shall listen keenly and include the views of our people. However, there is a ruling on this matter, I think in the Bank of Uganda case, and I'll quote it for you at a later stage, that enactment of laws without including the views of the people are against the spirit of the Constitution. Therefore, it would be important, in any case, to give them a chance to give their views, and then you sieve them as elected legislators and come up with our opinions, and we process them. Therefore, since we've agreed as a House, we can move together and move clause by clause as we present the views of our people, though we feel mainly the artisanal miners should have been given more time to come, because we've seen the hulabalu around those who own mines and those who are trying to encroach on them in Buweju, in areas in Kabale, in Kanungu, in other areas like Mubende, Mitiana. Therefore, a law is great when people have an input, so that they are also carried together forward. Thank you very much.
Honorable Nsereko, one thing I need to put on record is that a substantial number of people were consulted. Substantial. And you know what substantial is. So it does not mean that you need to get 100%, but substantially there was a representation. And that is what the law requires. Thank you so much. I thought media had moved it, that we go to the next stage. Anyway. Yes.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I thank you to the committee for bringing up the report. Right Honourable Speaker, the mineral areas of this country have been ring-fenced for reasons which are not known. People think when a mineral comes from a particular place, say Karamoja, it belongs to Karamoja. From Mubende, it belongs to Mubende. Kasese, the same. It's good that today the committee has come up with the sharing of the royalty, 70 majority which belongs to the government. But the 5%, which actually the Honorable here was trying to bring out, this is what usually happens. The people in government usually run to buy the sites of these minerals.
Honorable, that is a clause at committee level. When it reaches that clause, you bring it up. If you want to amend from 70% to 2%, you will now do that at committee level. Now, for now, let's look at the principles of the bill.
Most obliged. Thank you.
Thank you. Silas. Tony.
Right Honourable Speaker, first allow me to thank you for the guidance that you've given to the House, but also to thank the chair of the committee together with the members. I remember the day when you complained about reports delaying, particularly on the bills. Now that this committee has delivered, they deserve some applause. Right Honourable Speaker, that notwithstanding, it's also very, very important that we observe the rules of procedure. And I am happy that, Madam Speaker, you are the custodian of the rules. What we are mindful about is at the end of the day, we should not be working on an empty hand. But I want to believe that we shall toe the correct line, because you've guided, and I believe you have guided correctly. Right Honourable Speaker, in the tennis parliament, I was in the Natural Resources Committee, and I happened to visit most of the places where mining takes place. And one of the places I visited is the constituency of Doctor in Bukuya. And we saw what was happening there, how people were being chased away, and the evictions had so many wounds left behind after it. And I think this bill comes in handy in sorting out part of the mess which has been there. I want to observe and be happy with the committee for one reason. you decided to leave out the aspects of this other mining, which is minor for us, the one of maram, sand, these materials for construction. Do not tamper with those ones for now. Because when you do that, you are going to raise the cost of construction. And that will be bad. You will be increasing the number of slums and poor informal housings in the country. So I want to believe, Doctor and your team, you did a good job. Madam Speaker, I am aware that there are minerals in Karamoja, for instance. And I want to call upon my uncles and aunties from Karamoja to put their eyes and your eyes on this bill. This is our bill, the uncles and the nephews. I see trucks always crossing over from the other side, passing via Kumi, going to Tororo, and then the other side on issues of cement and what have you. Let us check in the bill, what do we have there, so that we see our people benefit. When it comes to sharing of the profits that come out of mining, what percentages are being given to our people? But as I've also seen, Madam Speaker, when it comes to mining, there's a lot of destruction which is made on the roads. And you find that most of these roads, some of them are maintained by local governments. But what is it that the law is giving to local governments to compensate them for the damaged roads? So I think this law is very, very, very important for us. I heard also that there are people of Busia who thought that there are concerns that they wanted to raise.
First of all, to answer what you're saying, that's why you find the committee has made a provision of 10% in one of the clauses for the local government. It has reduced what comes to government, to consolidated fund, and increased what goes to government because of the environmental impact. And secondly, including sand, maram would be unconditional. There, I'm happy with the committee. They did a good job.
Yes, Madam Speaker. And, Madam Speaker, more to that, there are districts which are not fortunate to have minerals. The only mineral we have is a maram and a sand.
Those are not minerals.
They call them minerals. There's a way the scientists have called them also that
Look
minerals.
at it from the Constitution. Look at it from the Constitution. Don't mislead the House.
Yes.
Those are not minerals. Those are building materials.
Madam Speaker, much obliged, and I know the wisdom you have. Those are not minerals. So in Ikumi, we do not have any minerals. So what I wanted to emphasize here is that in this law, let us make sure that for the districts where there are no minerals completely, you make an allocation for us also to benefit from something. Because there's something that will also contribute to you as you do your work of mining. So be mindful about us also. Something, an equalizer should be provided for a district like Ikumi, which does not have minerals. We have only sand and maram. So, Madam Speaker, I look at the doctor and I know he's a bright man. I'm happy this bill is going to sort a lot of issues. But as I sit down, I will request that, Madam Speaker, you accord the members of parliament who are coming from these mining places enough time, particularly Dr. Buchanan when he gets an opportunity, even if he wants 20 minutes, so that he is able to air out all the views.
Now, Solo, you're not going to manage the House for me.
Information.
No,
Okay?
Okay, Madam Speaker. Much obliged, Madam Speaker. I only said so because I know you as somebody who listens to your humble members. But I thank you, Madam Speaker, and I end my submission wishing members a fruitful deliberation. This is a serious matter. Do not go out. Stay put. Thank you so much.
Motion? Motion is coming from where?
Honorable Cyrus.
Yes, Tony?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, let me start by thanking the committee and the members. Right Honorable Speaker, in making laws like this one regarding minerals that affects the lives of people, I want to believe that these laws should be pro-people. And when I see the recommendations that have been put by the committee here, I am believing that so much considerations has been made to support the people and the country. And one of the areas that I want to look at is the recommendation that there should be planned training of Ugandans for employment, and then progressive reduction of expertise workers in mining industry. Right Honorable Speaker, I think we should support this position that as foreign miners come in, they should have a plan to show that Ugandans are going to be employed, they are going to be trained, so that over time we develop our own skills to participate in mining, and by that we would be reducing on the number of experts in most parts of mining. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I think this has been good. Madam Speaker, involving the local communities, this is yet another concern that affects the people. You'll find there are minerals in a particular area, but the communities are not part of any mining, and they don't even feel like they have the minerals within their areas, because right from the word go, they are not involved. They see foreigners coming, taking over the place, displacing the lands, fencing it off, and they just watch the dust. So I think in this particular case, where we are proposing, involve the local people, look into their issues, environmental impact assessment are done, then the work of mining, and then the royalties, what they should benefit for, is included. If the social corporate responsibility of putting up schools, putting up hospitals, are planned from the word go. So with this, I think this committee report is okay. The bill have got issues that is pro people. I think I want to thank the committee, and we shall support it. Thank you.
Members.
Motion.
Yes.
Madam Speaker, based on the time we had to go through the report and the way the chairperson summarized the report, and considering the time remaining, I want to move the motion that we move to the next stage of forming the committee of the whole house. We discuss item by item, then we can properly put our contributions based on clauses of the bill. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Is the motion seconded? Yes. Honourable members, I now put a question that the bill entitled Mining and Minerals Bill 2021 be read for the second time. Those in favor say unto the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
The Mining and Minerals Bill 2021, Bills Committee stage. Clause 1.
Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Madam Chairperson, these are the proposed amendments to the Mining and Minerals Bill. On Clause 1, on commencement, the committee is recommending that we substitute the provision as follows. This act shall come into force on a date of publication in the Gazette, save for section 3352, paragraph S, on levies payable for export of minerals, which shall come into force on the 1st of July 2021. Madam Chairperson, the justification for this proposed amendment is to avoid delay in the implementation of the Act and to enable government recover revenues from gold exporters in the areas. Madam Chairperson, I beg to submit.
Minister.
Madam Chairperson, may I conclude the whole?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's all for that. that particular clause.
Right, honorable and members, I do concede the statement, Mr.
Thank you. I put a question that clause 1 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say and to the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 1 as amended.
I put a question that clause 1 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and to the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
Chair.
Madam Chairperson, on clause 2, which is on application, the committee is proposing that we delete subclause 2B. The justification for this proposal is that building materials or building substances should be regulated separately because Article 2445 of the Constitution excludes them from the definition of minerals. Madam Chairperson, I beg to submit.
Chair, Minister.
I do concede.
I put a question that clause 2 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say and to the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 2 as amended.
I put a question that clause 2 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and to the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 3.
Chair.
Madam Chair, clause 3 is on purpose of the act. The committee is proposing to amend paragraph C by deleting the words extraction of building substances and delete any reference to building substances wherever it appears in the bill. The justification, Right Honorable Chairperson, is that this is consequential since we have already deleted reference to building substances. I beg to submit.
Minister.
Do concede.
I put a question that clause 3 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say and to the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 3 as amended.
I now put a question that clause 3 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and to the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 4.
I put a question that clause 4 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and to the contrary, nay. Clause 4 has no amendment.
Clause 5.
Clause 5, I put a question that clause 5 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and to the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 6.
I put a question that clause 6 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and to the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 7.
I put a question that clause 7 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and to the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 8.
Clause 8, interpretation.
Right Honorable Chairperson, clause 8, which is on interpretation, the committee is proposing the following amendments. 1, amend the definition of precious mineral under paragraph B by deleting the words rare earth elements. The justification for this proposed amendment is that rare earth elements are not precious minerals. They are industrial minerals and are not treated as precious by world markets. Rare earth elements should be separately defined. And for that matter, we are proposing to introduce further the following definitions we are proposing to introduce definitions of new words as follows. Right Honorable Chair. Borehole means a narrow shaft bored into the ground, either vertically or horizontally, as part of the geotechnical investigation, environmental site assessment, mineral exploration, temperature measurement, installing piers or underground utilities for geothermal installations or for underground storage of unwanted substances. The next definition that we are proposing, Right Honorable Chair, is complex project. Complex project means a project with significant integrated components, unique equipment, multifaceted systems, intricate phasing, or that is marginal in context. The next definition, Right Honorable Chair, is geothermal resource. And this means a reservoir of heat occurring naturally within the subsurface of the earth, carried to the earth's surface by water and or steam. 4, highly capitalized project means a project whose capital investment is about US $300 million. 5, primary host community means a single community of persons mutually agreed procedure. I'm sorry, Right Honorable.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Chair. I did not intend just to interrupt. Usually, I've seen when we're processing bills that we start with the other business and conclude with the interpretation clause. There is meaning in doing that because you're about to interface with a lot of work that needs proper interpretation, and therefore, if we rush and start with the interpretation now, we may get stuck. I beg to move.
You know, when you set a precedence, you can equally set another precedence. So in this House 11th Parliament, we're also setting another precedence from this. So don't worry, you're moving in the right direction.
Much obliged, Right Honorable Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Chair, for your ruling. I proceed, and may I repeat primary host community. This means a single community of persons mutually agreed by the holder of a large-scale, medium-scale, or small-scale mining license and the local government where the mining area is located. But if there is no community of persons residing within 30 kilometers of any boundary defining the mining area, the primary host community shall be the local government. The next definition we are introducing is rare earth elements. Means a group of 16 elements, 17 elements, I beg your pardon, Right Honorable Chair, appearing in the periodic table comprising 15 lanthanides, yttrium, and scandium. I beg to submit the proposed definitions, Right Honorable Chair.
Honorable Minister.
Since they explain what is appearing in the bill. Thank you.
I put a question that clause 8 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say and to the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 8 as amended.
I now put a question that clause 8 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and to the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 9.
I put a question that clause 9 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and to the contrary, nay. Ayes have it.
Clause 10.
Chair.
Right Honorable Chairperson, on clause 10, the committee is proposing to amend the head note to read as follows: prohibition of unauthorized activities. And the justification for this is for clarity. In subclause L, we are also proposing by deleting reference to regulations made under this act. And the justification is an act must make reference to its equivalent and not to regulations. And besides that, reference to the act includes regulations made thereunder. The next proposed amendment is that in subclause 2, we insert the words "in consultation with the relevant state authority" after the word minister. Justification for this is that to enable the minister consult with the relevant authority in order to make decisions from an informed point of view. In subclause 3, Right Honorable Chair, we are proposing that paragraph A be amended by substituting 100,000 currency points with 50,000 currency points and imprisonment not exceeding 10 years, with imprisonment not exceeding 5 years. We are also proposing, Right Honorable Chair, in paragraph B, that we substitute 100,000 currency points with the 50,000 currency points. And the justification is to avoid giving very, very stringent penalties. We are further proposing to delete subclause 4. And the justification for this is the punishment under subsection 3 is adequate and therefore shouldn't be any additional penalties. We are further proposing that we insert a new subclause to read as follows. Court may, in addition to the penalties imposed under this section, order that the mineral substances that were extracted illegally and any items and instruments used in the commission of the offense be seized and forfeited to government. The justification, Right Honorable Chair, is for a robust penalty. We are further proposing to insert a new clause after clause 10 to read as follows: aiding illegal operators. And under that we propose the following: a person who aids illegal prospectors or operators in contravening the provisions of Section 10.
Chair, why don't we handle Section 10 first before you bring the new clause? That's a new clause. Let's first finish 10, then you bring in the new clause.
Yeah, thank you for your guidance.
Minister. Yes, Honorable Medi.
Before the minister comes in, thank you. Thank you, Chairman. Chair proposes a reduction of the currency points. Honorable members, for avoidance of doubt, each currency point is 20,000. So in this case, 150,000 currency points would be about a maximum limit of about 3 billion, if it's 150,000. So on reduction to 50,000, it comes to about 1 billion. My proposal, in my opinion, would be about 25,000 instead of 50,000 currency points. That takes us to about 500 million. The justification is because it is sui generis in prohibition of the following. If you conduct any of the following as per clause 10, which would include the following: 1, exploration, mining, processing, refining. Now, there are very many people that process minerals in their secondary form, not their primary form. Ordinarily, very many people might not know that it's in its raw form, but it's a mineral. Then you process it in its secondary form. Now, that one has not clearly been distinguished. So, this one is looking at the high players. But we have these, small artisanos that add value, who are not necessarily licensed. Mining is very complicated at its level. But we have what we call secondary processing, cut for me the edges, like cutting of certain minerals. That is part of a processing in the value chain of a mineral. Unless we teach them very much, but giving them a penalty of 1 billion, I know it's deterrent and it's good, but 500 million is reasonable. Because when we talk about 500 million here, now all of us hear one another. What we had in the first instance, and I would like to thank the committee, was about 3 billion. In your wisdom, which was right, it came down to about 1 billion, 50,000 currency points. Since it's sui generis, my proposal, Right Honorable Speaker, is that 25,000 currency points that takes us to a maximum limit of 500 million would be sufficient. That's my proposal.
Thank you, Honorable Medi.
Madam Chair.
I want to refer you to the objective, to the principles of this bill, and specifically look at principle F. One of the principles of this bill is to introduce prohibitive penalty and fines regime. Yes, Katesh.
Thank you, Right Honorable Chair. The information I want to give my colleague is that when we talk of the minerals, some of the minerals, the value is so high that if you provide for a very small penalty, you are bound to have people who actually abuse the law and take away our minerals. And they will easily pay that 500 million, very easily. So it was a very huge debate. The considerable view of the members is that you provide for high penalties to protect the minerals of the people of Uganda. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Enos?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to refer you to Clause 10, Section 2. I wanted us to dilute the powers of the minister under that section, because here it says the minister may prohibit mining operations in the interest of security. But Madam Chair, we might have a case where a minister is conflicted, like the current case we have right now. I believe the Honorable Minister has interest in this bill. So if a minister is conflicted, it might have an effect. So I suggest that we dilute the powers of the minister under section, under Clause 10, Section 2.
Honorable Enos, we don't make laws for an individual.
I'm not saying we do it for an individual.
Today the minister is there. Tomorrow he will be in agriculture.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
We are making this law for the people of Uganda, not for these ministers.
Thank you, Madam Chair. But my argument has a lot to do with having a similar scenario where a minister is conflicted or has interest in the mining sector. So in my view, we limit or dilute the powers of the minister in controlling or prohibiting the mining operations based on the reasons stated in this bill.
And you see, Enos, this is the same thing we did in petroleum laws. We have a political power. We should be responsible. And this is the same thing we are doing today. We don't need to have a contradiction. In the petroleum law, you have something else. In the mining law, you have something else. You need consistency whenever you're making a law.
Madam Chair, I appreciate your argument, but I believe every sector has different requirements.
And we will get a response from the chair and the minister.
Procedure, Right Honourable.
Yes, procedure.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable, we are discussing a very important matter, touching matters of our income, economic activities that we do on a day-to-day basis to raise and uphold what we have for the betterment of our country. Right Honourable, I want to raise the issue of quorum because we are discussing an important matter. Under Rule 24 of our Rules of Procedure, Right Honourable, the quorum of Parliament shall be 1/3 of all members of Parliament entitled to vote. 24(2) says the quorum prescribed under sub-rule 1 shall only be required at a time when Parliament is voting on any question
3, at any time when a vote is to be taken, the Speaker shall ascertain whether the members present in the House form a quorum for the vote to be taken. And if he or she finds the number is less, the Speaker shall suspend the proceedings of the House for an interval of 15 minutes, and the bell shall be rung. 4, if on the resumption of proceedings, after the expiry of 15 minutes, the number of members present is still less than the required quorum for voting, the Speaker shall proceed with other business or suspend the sitting or adjourn the House without question put. And in case of a committee, the chairperson shall adjourn the committee. If it under 5, if it appears to the chairperson in a committee of the whole House that there is less than the required quorum for the committee to take a decision, the House shall be resumed thereupon, and the Speaker shall act in accordance with the procedure set out in sub-rule 3 and 4. And 6 says, for the avoidance of doubt, a member virtually present in the House shall form part of the quorum of the House. Right Honorable, it's in view of that rule that I request that we ascertain the number of members of Parliament present here today to vote on this bill, because Right Honorable, this is a very vital, important bill that every member of Parliament should have been given a chance to deliberate on, to discuss, to debate, such that we take decisions that won't affect the interests of those that are not here present today. Right Honorable, I beg to move.
Thank you so much, Mama Kayonga. And I'm happy that you've been in this house since the COVID time. And the COVID regulations were made. And we agreed that we'll be having a sitting in this house of 100 members. And the rules are that we must have a third of the house. And the fact that we have a third of the house, we are proceeding very, very well.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to give information. I think, Honorable, you're right, Honorable Nsereko, that the penalty of 1 billion is really too high. But there are two things, and the Honorable Member here was also right. There are two things which we need to bear in mind when we talk about this illegal mining. There are two categories of people. The first category are the artisanal miners, and those are ordinary people making a living. And actually their capital normally is limited to 10 million. Then on the other hand, we have many people, many big companies operating on exploration license. And you find that many of them are mining without a mining license, but with exploration license. So when you're talking about the fine, we need to divide it into two. There should be a fine for small artisanal, small-scale miners, and a fine for bigger companies. I don't think they can both pay the same. And I think this is what I'm inviting Honorable Nsereko and Honorable Chair and the others to think about.
Thank you so much. Maybe just to correct what my little son Enos was saying, that what I argued, I didn't argue. I only guided. The Speaker guides. Speaker does not argue.
Madam Chair, as I correlate his point,
yes,
we can strike a balance here, because you see, we are making a law for small and big players. And in my view, we can say that in case of artisanal miners, and I don't know how we can really coin this with the Attorney General, that the fine, because it's someone using about 10 million shillings of capital. But if we talk about mining, then it is also caught up in the act. This guy mining on artisanal level, if they don't have a license, on conviction, it's a billion. Unless we have an escape gap for small players. I can understand the rationale for this, but the small player, how do we accommodate them? Like Honorable Kef has been saying.
Just before the Attorney General comes in, the Minister issues a license. And in issuing the license, the Minister determines whether it's a small, minor, or a big one. When you look at the rules, it is very categorically clear that the Minister will issue and determine the type of the minor. Attorney General, can you guide us?
Thank you, Right Honorable. One, I want us to acknowledge that yes, we have artisanal miners who are small operators. But we also know that behind some artisanal miners, there are very big operators who hide behind them. So if we say artisanal miners, we exempt them as such. Every big operator will now go underground and operate as an artisanal miner behind the scenes.
A second, Right Honorable Speaker, Madam Chair, I would like the Minister, you see, we talk of young people trying to find their feet. I understand your fear. Equally, just like you have to, you know the miners who use alluvial style of mining. A young lad, 16 years, gets out, goes and is at the river or at the banks of a river or in the wetlands, shakes that thing and gets some little gold. And I'm trying to say this because it's possible. Are you saying that that person cannot sell that gold and that it's illegal, they need a license? That's what I want to hear from the minister. Because those are thousands and millions. And that if they are found with this gold, they'll have to pay 1 billion.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Let's hear from the minister.
Thank you very much, my friend Nsereko. Yes, I know the fears we have. First, we are saying you must have a license in the first place. That's why we are organizing people into cooperatives, what have you. You say you form yourself, even if you're an individual, just seek for that's the license. Many things, many reasons why you have to a license. There are people who can spoil the land and leave the ground with a lot of gaping holes, and they go away. They have spoiled the environment. So there should be some kind of control in the activities you are doing. If you now say, I'm going to mine, even when you need to move, what they call prospecting, moving throughout Uganda, you could be a foreigner. If you want, you move some little money. But for the case of really, this one they call the fines. But there is a legal word here saying, not exceeding. Not exceeding is to give the court a discretion, is flexible. You don't tie and say, you do this. So these are those.
I have conceded, don't worry. Since that is the limit, not exceeding.
Honorable Minister, when you look at the interpretation clause, the artisanal mining license means a license issued under Section 99. So that what is, it's accepted. So.
Thank you. So, with the cooperation of my friend, I concede anything which has been put there, but the flexibility of the court is left.
Thank you. I put a question that clause 10 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say aye, to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 10 as amended.
I put a question that clause 10 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
New clause.
New clause.
Right Honorable Chair, just for the record, I misread clause 10 by reading sub-clause 1 as sub-clause L. So I just want for the record that to be captured. Right Honorable Chair, I want to move now to insertion of a new clause after clause 10 to read as follows. It will be done later on by the draftspersons.
The new clause.
Yeah. Right Honorable Chair, the proposal is to insert aiding illegal operators. And under that, the clause should read, a person who aids illegal prospectors or operators in contravening the provisions of Section 10 commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 25,000 currency points or imprisonment not exceeding 2 years. Justification is to be all-inclusive. Madam Chair, I beg to submit.
Minister.
Right Honorable dear members, I do concede.
I put a question that a new clause stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 11.
11. Clarification on which clause?
Madam Chair, if I got it very well, I'm sorry if I took you a little back, because I felt it's a very big issue on confiscation of all equipment that is used in the process of facilitating mining wrongfully. If somebody is using a car and the car is hired, for instance, and now it is captured and sold, you are here as a member of parliament, you own a truck, your driver uses it, and you don't know he has taken it to a mining site, and it goes. How do you handle that?
There is what they call strict liability and vicarious liability in law. Have you heard? In law, there is what they call strict liability and vicarious liability. Next, clause 11.
Clause 11.
Clause 11, I put a question that clause 11 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 12.
Chair.
Right Honorable Chair, on clause 12, we are proposing to amend subclause 2 by deleting the words quarry license. Justification is clause 12, subclause 2 bundles a quarry license together with mineral rights, which subsequently creates the impression that a quarry license is a mineral right, and yet a quarry license is not among the mineral rights listed under subsection 14. Madam Chairperson, I beg to submit.
Minister.
We did discuss and conceded. I do concede.
I now put a question that clause 12 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say aye, to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 12 as amended.
I now put a question that clause 12 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 13.
I put a question that clause 13 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 14.
I put a question that clause 14 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 15.
I put a question that clause 15 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 16.
16. Chair.
Right Honorable Chairperson, on clause 16, we are proposing to insert a new paragraph immediately after paragraph A to read as follows: provide policy guidance, oversight, and adherence to standards. Justification is to be more comprehensive. Madam Chairperson, I beg to submit.
Minister.
Do consent.
I put a question that clause 16 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 16 as amended.
I put a question that clause 16 as amended stands part of the bill, and those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 17.
Chair.
Right Honorable Chair, on clause 17, I beg to amend sub-clause 3 by substituting the word minister with director. Justification is topographic error. The clause provides for the powers of a director, and reference to minister is misplaced. Also, we are proposing to insert a new sub-clause 4 to read as follows: a person aggrieved by the decision of the director may appeal to the minister, and the minister shall respond to the appeal within 21 days from the date of appeal. The justification for this proposed amendment is to provide for the appeal process. Madam Chair, I beg to submit.
Right Honorable Speaker, Chair, the Chair of the committee and others, we examined this. We found that in many jurisdictions, the minister, some functions which we are saying for the director should go back to the minister. The directors are technical people who work around to do all the technicalities, so that the minister should be involved in the administration. Because these days, when he's a director, and you come to the minister who comes here, he says, I really don't know what happened. In areas like Tanzania, Kenya, the minister does it, so that he is pinned if there is any problem which happens. And even with when we discussed in the cabinet, this thing was brought out and it was passed, that the minister should also be held responsible. He waits every nitty-gritty is done. When that is finished, the meeting is convened. The way we do it for petroleum. The discussions are there. Then when you put your signature, should be held responsible, not to leave it hanging.
Madam Chair.
Honorable Minister, I thought this bill came from executive. And what the committee is only doing is to make a correction of what you put there as the minister shall. The heading of the clause is the powers of a director. We are only correcting. Instead of a minister, you're putting a director. It's a correction.
Madam,
the one of the minister is 16.
Madam Chair, actually, we have not reached where he's responding to. So this was merely topographical error.
Madam Chair, I understand the fear of Honorable Rokelis. And
no, don't
Madam
go
Chair,
there.
I'm not going there, but it's true. There are very many sweeping powers by technical officers. And that is why when at times you seek redress from the policy directors, who are the ministers, they have no answers. They tell you, listen, you tied my hands when you are making the law. On this, we can assure you we are going to support you 100%. you should have sweeping powers. Because everywhere on decisions of licensing, I think we even made it clear in the Petroleum Act and other acts, the powers shall be vested with the minister so that you're answerable to us here in Parliament. So I know you're worried, but it comes in clause 19.
I was giving Honorable Nsereko information that actually a minister without powers is no minister. And therefore, we need to empower the minister. We cannot afford to have you there with a vehicle, a room, an office, without powers. You'll be nobody. Therefore, we stand with you. Let your power be restored accordingly.
Members, I want you to look at the bill very well. In exercising his or her powers and functions under this act, the minister shall ensure that all little damages or inconveniences as possible is caused to a registered owner, a customary owner, a lawful occupant or a bona fide occupant of the land on which the powers are exercised, and to take into account the spatial, fiscal planning and land use consideration as determined by the National Planning Board. The minister still has the powers. It gives the minister powers.
But the issue here is why the chairperson came up is that it was put under the powers of the director in clause 17, whereas functions of the minister are in clause 16. Therefore, it is two-way. Either you pull this back to clause 16 as 16D in exercising his powers and functions. When you read from clause 16, it's where the functions of the minister are. Then after that, we move to the powers of the director. Either you pull this back to the functions of the minister because it's spelling out the functions of the minister, that in exercising his or her powers and functions under this act, the minister shall. You either pull it back to 16, or if it was meant for the director, then you are meant to remove the title of minister. But if the powers are for the minister, like I want them to be, then we move them back to clause 16.
You see, the act is giving a limitation to the director. He's saying that a director in exercising his duty, a minister shall do A, B, C, D. Meaning that the minister is still supervising, responsible for what the director does. Can we hear from Attorney General?
Yeah, let's not be ambiguous. That's why we are here to legislate. If that is what we are saying, let us make it explicit.
That's why he's saying, in exercising his or her powers and function, the director.
Madam
Under
Chair.
17. Check 17.
Madam Chair, just like you've just said, 17 makes reference to the director. The amendment moved by the chair is to remove the word minister and replace it with the director. The intention is that the director handles the nitty-gritties, while 19 is to be amended. The functions of the director should be the functions of the minister. Yes, on the grant of the license. So,
in lieu,
the administrative
just a second. In lieu, are you proposing that when we go to clause 19, we remove all the functions of the director and replace them with the minister? That is your proposal. And we put minister. That in clause 19, honorable members, I'm sorry to move you first, and Madam Chair, that the minister shall be responsible for granting mineral rights, licenses, permits, and other authorization under this act. Is that so?
You know,
Okay.
Honorable Medi,
But that's
Clause 16 talks about the functions of the minister. 16
Yes.
of the act. Yes. And even when you go to 99, so many 99.
19.
No, check 16 first.
Yes, I've seen.
17 is on a director.
Yes.
18 is on the powers of the directorate.
Functions of the director.
Yes.
Then 19.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry to appear to be moving ahead of ourselves, but the contents of Clause 19 should have formed part of Clause 16. They are powers of the minister, not the director.
And since
the one
it's government
authorized to
proposing,
grant,
who are we to say no?
I beg your pardon? Yes. So the powers to grant the license should be with the minister. So we shall amend Clause 19 instead of director and call it functions of the minister.
Yes.
However, what we shall need to correct is that Clause 16 also talks of functions of the minister.
Yes.
These two clauses are all talking of functions of the minister. We need to merge them so that we have one clause about functions of the minister. I beg to submit.
As the functions of the directors. Remember? You remember? You remember? Yeah, we have powers of the director.
Clarification? Yes.
Madam Chair, on a point of procedure here. Right Honorable Chair, I wanted to invite colleagues.
I am not listening to you. Members, after reconciliation, we've realized licensing is very important and should be handled by the minister. Anywhere in the bill that regards licensing is a responsibility of the minister.
But Chair, I would like to get some clarification. Clarification, Madam Chair.
I'm not. Judith.
Yes, Madam Chair. I want a clarification on two things, on the functions and powers. Because what I understand is that the functions of either a minister or a director are the responsibilities. And I'm not seeing the powers of a minister here, apart from the powers of the director. So I want some clarification. Are they not similar things? Thank you.
Chairperson, Nilango Parliamentary Association. I've already guided on that. The persons who are going to do the drafting of this bill must capture this very clearly. Anything on licensing must be under the minister. I am putting a question.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
I put a question on my guidance that all matters of licensing, as the House has proposed, be under the minister. Those in favor say and to the contrary, nay. The ayes have it. 17. I put a question that clause 17 be amended as proposed, and those in favor say and to the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 17 as amended.
I now put a question that clause 17 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say to the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 18.
Clause 18, Chair.
Right Honourable Chair, on clause 18, functions of Directorate of Geological Surveys and Mines, we are proposing to redraft sub-clauses 1, 2, 3, and 4 to read as follows. Sub-clause 1. The Directorate of Geological Surveys and Mines is responsible for the regulation and management of minerals and mining activities through the Department of Geological Surveys, the Department of Mines, the Department of Geothermal Resources, and any other departments that shall be created by the Directorate. Sub-clause 2. The Department of Geological Surveys shall A. Establish and promote the mineral potential of Uganda through reconnaissance, exploration, geological mapping, geochemical surveys, geophysical surveys, and any other method. B. Collect, manage, and provide access to geological data and information from mineral exploration and development operations. C. Promote mineral beneficiation and value addition. D. Establish and maintain an accredited mineral laboratory for analyzing mineral samples, rocks, mineral concentrates, tailings, or minerals. We are proposing that we delete E in the bill completely. F, promote and conduct research and development in the mineral subsector. We are proposing to delete G because it is already subsumed under A. H, we are proposing to delete H because it is covered under A. We are proposing to delete I because it is covered under D. We are proposing to delete J because it is covered under E. And then we are proposing an insertion of paragraph K. Perform such other function incidental to the Department of Geological Surveys. Subclause 3, the Department of Mines shall be responsible for the regulation of mineral rights, monitor implementation of programs, plans and reports, and inspect, monitor, and audit mining operations. B, enforce the provisions of this Act and any other written law to implement the certification of designated minerals. We are proposing to delete paragraph C because it is contained in A. D, assess and verify mineral royalty and other payments under this Act. E, mainstream and organize artisanal mining in Uganda. We are proposing to delete paragraph F. It's not a core function of this department. It's important and shall be done even when not in the law. G, we are proposing to delete it. This is a role of the entire ministry and the National Mining Company. H should read as follows: regulate and manage the impact of mineral activities on the economy, environment, and socio-economic life. We are proposing to delete paragraph I because it is contained in A. J should read, facilitate the development of skills and capacity among Ugandans and promote technological development in the mineral subsector. Paragraph K, encourage private sector participation in the exploration and exploitation of mineral resources. Paragraph L, recommend to the director the suspension or revocation of mineral rights as a result of inspections and monitoring. M, develop and observe internationally accepted standards of health, safety, environmental protection, and the protection of human rights in the mineral subsector in consultation with the Uganda National Bureau of Standards and other relevant government agencies. And N, we are proposing that it be deleted. This is a role for the entire ministry. Paragraph O, we are proposing to insert paragraph O, perform such other function incidental to the Department of Mines. 4, the Department of Geothermal Resources shall, paragraph A, conduct surface and subsurface exploration of geothermal prospects. B, undertake pre-feasibility and feasibility studies in order to provide an economic basis for licensing of geothermal resources. C, participate in the preparation of agreements, including implementation agreements. We are proposing to delete power purchase agreements because these are not direct use of geothermal resources. Power purchase agreements and connection agreements. So those should be deleted, and direct use contracts to support licenses and enable private sector participation in the development of energy from geothermal resources. Paragraph D, promote the sustainable, delete the word commercial, development of geothermal resources. Delete the whole of paragraph E because it is incidental to D. Paragraph F, regulate and monitor the performance and technical compliance of licenses for geothermal operations. G, recommend to the director the suspension or revocation of licenses for geothermal operations as a result as a result of non-compliance. Delete inspection and monitoring. H, manage the geothermal database and provide information to stakeholders and conduct research and advice on appropriate geothermal technology and development. Delete paragraph I because it is contained in H. J, insert, perform any other function incidental to the function of the Department of Geothermal Resources. 5, the Directorate may, for the purpose of this act, establish regional offices. That is an instruction which we are proposing. Madam Chair, I beg to submit.
Minister. Let him first either accept or reject.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Right Honorable. There are the consequential words here, where, for instance, when you go to L on page 35, that one says, recommend to the director the suspension or revocation of mineral rights. The person who suspends the licensee. So since we have already said its function, should we recommend to the minister?
No, that is already given.
That's consequential. Thank you very much.
Yes. Attorney General, you want to say something?
I may not be very different from what the Honourable Minister said. Clause L, clause 2, subclause L. Recommend to the, replace the word director with the minister and add responsible for licensing, comma, to make it recommend to the minister responsible for licensing, comma, the suspension or revocation of a mineral rights as a result of inspection and monitoring. Meaning that the Directorate of Geological Surveys recommends to the minister.
Okay.
Yeah, and it is this same clause, subclause L, the same should be reflected in clause G, subclause G of clause 4.
Okay.
Yes.
I put a question that clause 18 be amended as proposed with amendment from the Deputy Attorney General. Those in favor say unto the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 18 as amended.
I put a question that clause 18 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary, nay. The ayes.
Clause 19.
Clause 19, I put a question that clause 19 be synchronized with clause 16.
There is something what I'm saying before you put a question, Madam Chair, and it's just to clause 19 first was dealt with in subclause 1 by changing the functions of licensing, but subclause 2, the director shall in granting, in this case it should be the minister, shall be in granting mineral rights and licenses in accordance with the act and other, coordinate with other government ministries. Then there is revocation as well. Now, even the issue of revocation is shifted from the director to the minister. Suspension and you see in the first amendment in